Okay, welcome to Charlie's desk. So on the desk today, we have from left to right, in the lower left-hand corner, we have a little Braille paper that's off-screen mostly. Then we have a sort of comically large, ancient flathead screwdriver with a wooden handle. It's maybe like 10 inches long for some reason, unnecessary. And then we have the Lutz 15-in-1 screwdriver. Has all the different bits you would need stored in the handle from Connolly Hardware, a great place. And then after that, there's a shabby little suitcase that I'll go into more detail about, containing the new Hall Braille writer. And then after that is a feather duster. So that's what's on Charlie's desk right now, and I'm going to sit down and start describing this little briefcase. So it is made to look as though it's leather, but I feel that it is probably not. It's about I don't know, 18 inches wide, and it contains a brailler. A foot long, 18 inches wide, about 8 inches tall, standing up. Looks like leather. Has little metal reinforcement things on all the corners, and little rivets and stuff. And it has some latches, which were broken as advertised. And it has a handle made of plastic. The fixtures are metal. I'm gonna open it up. Ta-da! So this is the new Hall Braille writer, and it is the third iteration of this Braille writer design. There's a video about the first one, the Hall Braille writer, and then there's the foundation writer, which looks exactly the same as the Hall Braille writer, except it's all stainless steel. It's amazing. It looks like the Silver Surfer of Braillers, but totally unavailable. But this guy is available on eBay at very good price, and so I ordered this one, and I wanted to make a video about what it's like right when I get it, because the Hall Braille writer, I have the original suitcase from that too, and if lovingly cared for, cardboard will last 100 years, and I love that. I love that little first Hall Braille writer suitcase. It's very cute. But I guess one thing I should describe is in the corner of this suitcase, there's a Free Matter for the Blind mailing thing taped to it from the New Jersey Commission for the Blind, and it has their address. And then it has the repair shop and the address in Kentucky of the American Printing House for the Blind, which I believe is the same. So I'll open it back up again. The first thing I usually have to do when I get a brailler, because I'm buying old and broken ones, is they're very dusty, so I get my feather duster and I feather dust them. It's an essential thing, because usually the first thing that a brailler will need that's been old, broken, or unused to see if it's actually broken or not is something like WD-40, some kind of lubricant or whatever. They need that to function smoothly, so I'm gonna just lift this thing out of its little suitcase. It has a little metal device that you can screw the brailler into the suitcase for transit. So we'll put this down. And then let me just make sure this is in. Okay, yeah, so it's similar to the original Hall Braille writer in some ways, in the form and the size. It's a corded keyboard, which is a term I learned from a college professor who teaches about this stuff. A corded keyboard, so it still looks like a little bit piano. And what I do know about this brailler is they tried to learn from the things that were mistakes about the Hall brailler. And in my video, I mentioned that I immediately broke the space key on the original Hall Brailer, because if you the way it was created, it was such a thin metal lever that if you put any torque on the space key by pushing on the edge of it, it wore and it bent it down. It was destined to happen. So you know, you still have the three keys on either side of the space key. They still are black. They still resemble the ebony keys, but they're not as curved. The height isn't right. On the Hall Brailer, the original one, they're like exactly like piano's keys. These are like not exactly like it. And then the space key in the middle, it has this like little ebony block on it, which ruins the piano effect for me. So I really want to love this Braille, but what's nice is that I realized that I can remove this portion. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna use this Lutz all-in 15-in-1 screwdriver to remove this part of the Braille, because you know it makes sense. Yeah, it's what broke about it. But it ruins the little baby piano effect, for me at least. So I don't feel like I'm gonna mix up, you know, what is the space bar and what is not the space bar. Just because the key's not wider, it's still in the middle. And so they just screwed this piece on. It makes sense, it broke. So they just have a, you know, the 7th key, the space key it is in the middle, and it's a little piano key. So, oh, what a relief. Now it's so cute. Okay, now I can talk about it. All right, so now it really looks like a true corded keyboard. All the keys look the same. Instead of cast iron, there's like this textured black surface, but it's worn away in places and it looks like steel. It still has like the embossing head that goes over the carriage with the patent and everything. So that's you know where the similarities start to end. So that the form is similar, but then I made that video about the Blista Brailer, which is a picked Brailer. So what's funky about this new Hall Braille Writer, when I turn it upside down, is that it looks a lot more like a picked Braille Writer underneath than a Hall Braille Writer, because the levers in the Hall Braille Writer go straight across, and these ones they bend. They like angle in towards a central point where the levers control the pins that do the embossing, and there's still the same clutch that goes underneath all of the keys. So when you make a letter, it advances the carriage, so you're not brailing in the same spot. So all of the keys, including the space bar, push down this clutch thing, this triangular, oh no, it's more trapezoidal because it doesn't have a point, clutch thing. And then you know, a lever, one of the keys from the left side goes back, and then it bends into the left, and it goes to the central point where the embossing head is, and then the carriage moves past that. So that's more like a picked Braille Writer. So this would allow you to make a smaller, I guess, like front to the Braille Writer, right? If you know, have these levers like this, like the keys on the Blista Braille Writer, a picked design, are closer together. So I'm going to flip it back over. So another thing that's sort of similar to a picked Brailler, the Blista, which I talked about, is the thing in the patent, the cylinder that you roll the paper around. It has a little trap door, and I'm going to open up. Yeah, that was the sound of it opening up. And on the blister Brailler, it has little fangs on the door that bite into the paper, which is cool to me. On this one, the fangs, the little things, they're actually sticking out from the wheel itself. And then, not the wheel, the cylinder. And then when you close the door, it completes the cylinder, right? So it's running parallel to the length of the cylinder. And then you can roll the paper in. So you put it in, you open the door, you put the paper in, bite down. That's a picked feature, not on the original Hall Braille. There's also, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. There's also a backspace key. Oh, and there's a little lock thing, locking the carriage in place for transit, which I was like, it's broken, but it was actually just locked. There's a wonderful indenting device that's also something that they stole from the German Braillers, and hopefully one of my TVI friends will tell me what that piece is called. So in form, it is like the Hall Brailler, it is like the Foundation Writer. In function, it has a lot of the features of a picked Braille writer, a German Braille writer. The backspace key, the way the pattern is. It's not cast iron and brass anymore. It looks like it's steel that's coated, powder coated with something black, and there's plastic and stainless steel and rubber and stuff like that involved. Very little plastic. The only thing that's plastic is the pattern knobs, the things that you turn this with. And then this is the indenter thing. You pull out a little pin, and then you can slide the indenter back and forth. And oh, the other thing that makes this similar to a picked Braille, I'll zoom in again and rotate to face the back of it, is the bell is now at the middle. On the original Hall Brailler, I didn't show this, I should show this. On the original Hall Brailler, when the carriage, the bell is on one end. Oh, I guess it would be the right end. So when the carriage gets to the end of it, there's a little thing that hangs off the carriage and rings the bell. So now on this, the bell is on the back, in the middle. It was always on the back, but on this one, it's the middle like a picked Brailler. So lots of picked Brailler features, and you know, in the body of a little Hall Brailler. Okay, so I feather dusted, right? That's the first step. Now I'm going to try and load some paper in. Thanks to Kara, friend of the show, for lending me some Braille paper. So I'm going to open up the little door. Gosh, this is, I don't know. I have to stand up to do this. Okay. So I take the paper, I slide it underneath the embossing head. I get it into the little trap door. I wanted to get it to bite through the little things. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, Lord. Everything is... You know, what if I just close the door on it once the paper's in there? I don't know, bite down on wherever it is. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that worked, and now I pull it in. Yep. It's rumpled. I messed it up, but it's fine for this purposes. Okay, so now we're gonna see if it brails. And now you can see the feather duster and the screwdrivers at the distance. It's just the Brailler. I removed the space key cover, a little small rectangle, 2 inch by 2 inches, to make the space key seem different. This seems to be plastic. Didn't like it. Okay, it brailled, but it's not advancing quite right. Yeah, it's definitely not. So that's it. Okay. It's trying to advance. Okay, cool. So, yeah, the person, you know, they said it worked. It's embossing. It's not advancing. There is a new carriage release lever. Oh, yeah. It just feels like it is in need of some, you know, attention. But it's not advancing. That's the common problem. I feel like that is something that I'll be able to fix. Something I wouldn't be able to fix right now is if something wasn't embossing. Oh, it advanced. Oh yeah, listen to this though. Creaky. I know I'm just pressing all 6 dots. They're all embossing. Yeah, so if I had set this up better, I would just put some WD-40 on there. Sounds like a knight armor, spooky knight armor walking around. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't like that. Does the space, and the space, oh yeah, the space key works. Yeah, so this one's in good shape. And I'll do a little bit more